Just when I started getting consistent with my training and building that momentum, it has now just gone downhill. I was bawling yesterday during my long run because I just couldn't finish it. Part of it was mental because the pace was so fast that I just couldn't keep up, and then a part of it was because I was feeling pain. But yeah, it just kind of sucky to the start of this week, but I'm hoping things will be on the up and up. I don't know what happened because I've never had this kind of pain before, and I was feeling a little bit of pain during my brick run after my long ride, and it was kind of subtle. And then later on that day when I was like out and about walking and running errands with my husband, it just like gave out. I like walked a certain way, and then next thing you know, it kind of like spasmed. So I was like, oh no. And then yeah, tried to give the long run a try, but just couldn't, and ended up jogging that entire thing. I'm pretty bummed and frustrated that this had to happen, especially now, because this week and next week are like my peak weeks of training. And so when the volume is supposed to be up high, it's now going to decrease, unfortunately. But, you know, I would rather try and keep my injury at bay and try to mitigate things as much as possible, because the worst thing to do is not being able to start. So I'm just parked outside my physio. So I'm hoping when I go in and have the whole assessment, it isn't too bad. I haven't done any kind of heavy training at all this week. Yesterday I did like a super short recovery ride. I was feeling a little bit of pain after swimming while I was driving. Like every time my foot pressed on the accelerator, I could start feeling a little bit of pain in that inner ankle and calf. So hopefully it isn't too bad. I don't know, we'll see. Like part of me feels so bad because I've been working so hard, and then now I just feel like all of it is going to go to waste, but I know that's not the case. I'm hoping it's just going to be a little bit of rest, and that I could at least do like an easy run or an easy ride later today. I am scheduled to do an interval ride and brick run, but I feel like that's probably not going to be the case. So I don't know, hopefully we'll see how that goes. And then after physio, I am gonna change and then head to the office, because today is an office day. So it's kind of like a pretty busy day in terms of like errands and work and just moving from one place to another. But sometimes I kind of like that because it just makes the day interesting rather than just like always working from home and doing stuff from home. So yeah, let's hope for the best. Oh my goodness. So sometimes I really like being out and about, because working from home and doing everything at home sometimes can get like really boring and just monotonous. So today I, had gone to my physio, and then I had to go to the office, and then I had to go do a few errands after the office, and then just coming back home was just a gong show. There was so much traffic, but I finally made it. So the verdict from my physio, he says that I have posterior tibialis tendinopathy. So essentially the inner part of my calf/ankle, the tendon that connects those two areas, is a little bit aggravated. And thankfully I caught it early, so it isn't too bad, but he did say to take it easy. I kept asking like, can I bike? Can I run? And he was like, you can, but when you feel pain, you need to stop. So I was like, so I can't do my interval ride today. Initially, I was scheduled for an interval ride yesterday and a brick run as well, but because it's still kind of fresh from the weekend, I was like, you know what, I'll push it to today, wait to see what my physio says. But he recommended that I should probably just take it easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go for a ride and maybe just ride for 30 minutes and then see how that feels. And then after that, I might do a run just to figure out like what's really causing the pain. Now it might be a little bit hard because there's a few things that he did. So he actually taped my ankle. So I had it taped for quite some time. As you can see, it is right. Oh, you probably can't really tell because it's kind of like matching my skin, but he taped my ankle. He was like, I'm going to tape it so that way it can prevent your ankle from rolling inwards. Because he noticed when he was doing his assessment that I was likely overpronating. And because I was doing that a lot for that whole time, whether it was biking or running, it put a little bit of strain. My thinking was that because I was an aero, it probably caused me to put my ankle more inwards, and then it started to hurt when I was running because running is more impact. He did also recommend as a quick fix to put in some insoles, so I'm gonna do that. I actually went to Running Room and I got me a pair of insoles, so I'm gonna do that. I got the medium arch height because he's like, you don't want it too aggressive, just kind of see how it is with the medium arch and then see how that goes. And hopefully that helps. And then I do have a pair of stability shoes, so I'm probably gonna try that out during my easy run and hopefully that alleviates some pain. So yesterday's trail workout actually ended up being okay. I did put the arch in my cycling shoe and I didn't feel any pain during the bike ride, which is good. During my run, I wore the stability shoes and that actually seemed to help because I actually felt no pain throughout it all, and maybe with the taped up ankle that also helped as well. So I am going to try another ride today. I am scheduled for a zone 3 ride, and so I'm going to see how that goes. Again, if I feel any pain, I'll stop, but my physio did give me some rehab exercises to try, and so I'm going to try and focus on that for I guess every day until race day, since I have about like 5 weeks left. So some of the exercises he gave me is really to focus on that calf strength, making sure like the muscles around that posterior tibialis is strong. So the calf raises, making sure I'm doing my calf raises properly, because he did notice when I do my calf raises, my right leg turns to go out more. So he wants me to focus on like pressing off my toe. So the exercise that he gave me was to put the ball in between my heels, and then that would focus on me pushing off my toes when I do that calf raise. And then another exercise he gave me was to also strengthen that inner ankle and foot part. So he gave me a banded exercise where it works on strengthening that inner part of the ankle and foot. So hopefully that works. And then lastly, because my balance wasn't so great on the right side, he made sure to give me some balancing exercises, making sure that I'm focused on that like tripod stance of my foot, because I have a tendency to like scrunch my toes when I'm trying to balance. So just making sure that it's straight and flat, and making sure that there's those 3 points of contact in the foot. So that's going to be my focus in terms of rehab. And then day by day, I'm essentially going to play by ear to see how the workouts are. If it's getting too intense, I might have to peel back, so that way it's just easy intensity, because now the focus is not to get hurt. It's really just to make sure that I'm keeping my injury at bay, or hopefully have it feel better. But so far, everything's looking promising. It seems to be very minor, so that's good. And then yeah, we'll see how the run goes this weekend. I might have to like change things up, because my weekend is actually super packed with social life plans. So there's just going to be a little bit more improvising in terms of how I'm fitting in my workouts in between the events. Because for the first time ever, T100 is actually coming to Vancouver. So I'm going to meet up with my friend to watch it. And it kind of conflicts with my long bike ride and run. So what I'm planning to do is kind of kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to bike to that area, meet up with her, hang out for a bit, and then bike back home and then do my run. So I'm hoping that all plays out in my favor and that everything works out. And then on Sunday, I have Father's Day. So I'm hoping to fit in a run before that and then meet up with my family because we've got plans to go golfing. So I am taking a different bike route today, a very new one, and it's because I'm meeting up with my friend Montana to watch T100, and so now I'm just trying to figure out where I am because I gotta navigate.
Ridden a bike in a year.
My old training partner's back! So I just got home and it's like 6 p.m. I still have to run, but because of like my whole strain situation, I'm gonna try running for 20 minutes at easy effort, and if there's no pain, then I'm good for tomorrow's long run. But yeah, I meant to do 45 minutes, but I'm gonna cut it short just because of my injury, and like my ride was supposed to be 3.5 hours, but actually went faster than I had anticipated. But I hit the 3-hour mark, so you know, what's another 30 minutes or so. But yeah, so now I'm just gonna get changed and maybe I'll do a 20-minute run.